Welcome to the market strategy session for the week of November 2nd, 2015. The first week of the best 6-month seasonal period in the markets. The first week of the last 2 months, aka the home stretch of 2015. Cannot believe it went this fast. Cannot believe it will be Thanksgiving in just a few weeks. Let's go over the economic reports. ISM manufacturing on Monday, and then Williams speaks at noon. On Tuesday, factory orders, and Draghi speaks at 2 o'clock. Draghi speaks at 4 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. I won't be up for that. 8:15 and 8:30, we have a couple of reds, but at 10 o'clock, Yellen testifies, and we have the ISM non-manufacturing PMI. These are during the session, so you have to watch that. Then Dudley speaks and Fisher speaks after the market. On Thursday, you have the weekly unemployment claims. Dudley speaks again, preliminary non-farm, Fisher, all this stuff, but I really concern myself more with the reds because Friday is the job numbers. Now, last week, we hit another set of multiple month highs on Wednesday after the Fed meeting. Then we consolidated, a one-day consolidation on Thursday, and then on Friday, we started to pull back, and the futures are lower right now. In my opinion, this is a good thing if you are bullish. Okay, in my opinion, a pullback here would be just what the bull doctor ordered. It would give a chance for the bulls that have been reluctant, gives them a safer spot to enter. Of course, safe spot would be a tough call, but it would give them a safer spot to enter, number one. And for those who are already in, if the pullback isn't that severe, which Paul and I don't think it will be, they will be able to hold up to the heat and be able to actually add on to their position. I don't know if it is going to work out as picture perfect as it seems it could, but we could be setting up for a very nice move into the end of the year. Do you agree with that, Paul?
Yeah, I think we could probably drop a couple thousand points in a year end.
Paul is in Dallas right now working a trade for the entire Cowboys team except for Greg Hardy, who is his favorite. By the way, how long are you there for?
Coming back Tuesday after. I'm leaving here Tuesday afternoon.
Are you going to have the chance to get barbecue when you're there?
Unlikely. I have a dinner tomorrow night at some steakhouse, so it's unlikely we're going to go to any kind of barbecue. I'll try, but I'm out at the airport too. I'm not downtown.
You're not downtown?
No, I'm at the airport.
What about In-N-Out Burger? Can you get the In-N-Out Burger?
I mean, literally, when I look out the window, I see an airport and then nothing else around it. There's Del Frisco's down the street.
Yeah. The problem with that airport, the difference between the airport and to downtown is like a couple mile ride, but it's like could be an hour commute, right? It's terrible.
I don't know.
Yeah. Wow, I can't believe you're not going to In-N-Out when you're in Dallas or Sam Barbecue.
Wait, In-N-Out is from Dallas?
No, they're from California, but they have one in Dallas now.
Ah.
They have a couple in Dallas now. All right. Anyway, here is Paul. He's going to pick it up from here, and he's going to brush off the horrendous play of Dallas once again, although they don't have their quarterback, and they have a very hobbling wide receiver.
No, the horrendous thing is that I checked the schedule before I came down. I thought they were away, and I could see the stadium from the hotel. How did I not? I would have grabbed a couple of tickets on StubHub or SeatGeek and gone to the game. I've never been to the new stadium.
Well, at least you would have
But
ate well, because otherwise, nothing to see in that game. All right, please text me when you're done so I could archive the recording.
all right, later. Whoops. Let's see. Alrighty. So, as Tiny said, I am in Dallas. Wishing my Cowboys could pull out a game, but wasn't meant to be. They stink. So frustrating. We came into the year with such high expectations, and losing Romo and Dej has been death. In any case, hope everybody had a good week. It wasn't that big of a week market-wise. And we had a big day on Wednesday, and other than that, the rest of the week was down ever so slightly. It's Sunday night. We got the S&Ps and the Nas down about 30 basis points. Nothing big either way. Things are quieting down somewhat, which is good. My daughter's softball team ended Friday night, our last game. Possibly the last game of my softball coaching career. We did win, and she did pitch a no-hitter again. She has a no-hitter in every game but one this fall, so that was good. And the team remained undefeated, so that was good. And if she could learn how not to walk people, she can stop them from scoring runs. But when you walk people and throw some wild pitches, they actually score runs. In any case, so I am here for a couple of days, trying to squeeze in as much as possible. So I have to come back here once a year. Let's go to, and I have a little bit of a cough, which, if you remember last Sunday night, I felt like crap. And then I ended up with a low-grade fever during the week. So this is the kind of the end of it. I have a little bit of a cough. So here's let me expand this a little bit. 3 out of the 5 indices look the same, and the other 2, the mids and the smalls, look the same. So here's the Dow. You'll notice on all the indices and most of the sectors, on the 14-day stochastic, we are very overbought. At the beginning of a move, stochastics will get overbought and stay overbought. That's why it doesn't work well in a trending market. Dow right back into the previous congestion zone, so I would expect in the short term stocks to stop going up. And last week, here is your Wednesday up day. You were down Monday, down Tuesday, down Thursday, and down Friday. Friday's candle wasn't the end of the world. And the market's a little tired. Do I think this move is over? No, I do not. I think we're going, as I've said, anyone who's been here for more than the last 10 minutes, I've said since the low and below 16,000, I said we're going back to all-time highs. I believe I was the only one pounding the table on that. And then we're going to 20,000. I still think that's the case. Nothing is changing in that view. So if you want to argue the case with me, I'm happy to have a discussion. But I've said since the August lows, we're going to all-time highs and then 20,000. So let's see how we can get there. Here's the Dow. I don't think the pullback is going to be anything big this week or next week. Maybe it's 1 to 3%. That's it. So you can certainly, in my view, buy weakness. Here's the S&P. Looks the same as the Dow. It's overbought. It needs to take a break. And here are the Qs, even more overbought and needs to take a break. Will this gap get filled? It's a question, right? The longer we go without filling it, the less likely it is we're going to fill it anytime soon, if I said that correctly. So if we start to come down into the gap, we'll fill it in the short term. We get out a week from now, 2 weeks from now without filling this gap, then I think we're probably going to go higher, and it's not going to get filled until the next correction comes. Mid caps and small caps look a little bit different, which I've said. I bought both mid caps and small caps. And I've said it for a couple of weeks. I'm looking to play catch up. So we broke out on Wednesday in the mids, and we had two nice consolidations. So I'm looking for, even if we pull back more in the mids, I'm looking for another bust higher to play catch up. Smalls are a little weaker, the Russell. Big up day on Wednesday. Why can't, what is going on with this freaking Met? There we go. Big up day on Wednesday, giving back some now right in the middle of the candle. But I think this we bust out and head up towards, 120-ish on the smalls. Europe, which I had been long. So in my global macro portfolio, I think the system that I wrote sold everything last week. I think the system's like in almost all cash. For whatever that's worth. Here's Europe. Still say it wants to go higher. I like the fact that Europe is consolidating and pulling down stochastic. So this looks like we're going to resolve much higher on Europe. And EEM, I told you I was looking to buy Israel, Hong Kong, and China. I did nothing yet, but I'm looking closely every day. Not as exciting a picture as the others. I will probably wait until stochastics get all the way down below 25 before seriously considering it. EWH, here it is. Looks like EEM. There's nothing really earth-shattering right now. FXI, China, same thing. I'll wait till they get maybe fully oversold and then give it a shot on the long side. And Israel just looks sloppy. So that's that. You guys will ask for Russia. There's Russia. I think we're getting close to being able to buy Russia for another trade. And Brazil has been disappointing the last couple of weeks, to say the least. This gap certainly has not been filled and has been rejected. So it's kind of a key week for Brazil. Okay, let's pause and see if we have any questions. And let's see. Can you say that one more time about the gap fill in the NASDAQ, Johanna? Yes. The longer we go without filling this gap, the less likely we're going to fill it until we get a full-fledged correction. Gap fills usually happen pretty quickly. The longer we go, the more powerful this trend becomes. So, like here was a little old gap back in here that, look, didn't get filled until really recently, and it led to an enormous decline. So very key to watch this gap. Let's see. What impetus will drive the market to 20,000? Frank, my thesis is that the dollar gets much, much stronger, a la 1985, 1986, and that causes massive currency imbalances in the world. We have huge capital flowing to our shores, and besides buying treasury bills and 2 and 5 and 7-year notes, I think they buy large cap stocks like it did like to happen in 85 and 86. That's my thesis right now. And it can't be I can't be wrong yet, but I could be wrong in a couple of months or a couple of years. May, what's you got in late? What's the outlook for the S&P? I think S&P we're gonna digest and pause for a week or so, maybe less, maybe a little longer, and then we're gonna go higher. I don't think we're close to a top yet. Trading top, sure, we could peak, or maybe we did peak, and we're gonna spend some time churning, but I think the upside is in front of us. How meaningful was it that China flat PMI? JN, I don't think it's that. I mean, China hasn't really rallied that much. Expectations are kind of crummy. So I wouldn't. I'm not concerned about that. May, do you know what happened in 1984? I saw something that looked like 84. I think real estate. Do I know what happened in 84? Reagan got reelected. It was kind of a second recession. It wasn't a great year for stocks, lots of volatility in 84. I graduated high school in 84, so that was, I think, pretty good. But I don't see any parallels to now in 84. Real estate, I'm not, you have to show me a chart of something, because I'm not really sure what you mean by real estate. But I'm always happy to look for you. All right, let's forge ahead. 3 key sectors. Banks were awful on Friday. What the heck happened to the banks? I can't remember now because it was 2 days ago. Huge day on Wednesday in the banks when the Fed made a slightly hawkish statement that we discussed last week. I thought they wouldn't raise rates, but they'd give you a pathway to raise rates in December, and here it is. Banks stunk on Friday. Maybe it was the new rules, the rumor of the new rules from the Fed. I can't recall. Not a great day for the banks on Friday, but they're still trading well. You got higher highs and higher lows, so the banks are trading well. There's a deal rumored over the weekend with KeyBank and First Niagara, which impacts KRE. See what happens on Monday if that catches fire on rumors of more deals, which I think are coming in the regional banking space. The trannies also kind of sucked last week. That was not a good week led by UPS. So another indication of a tired market. Semis also not so great last week. Looking a little tired. And the consumer stocks, pretty good. Not a great can on Friday, but they're at all-time highs. What more? We discuss it every week. They continue to surprise to the upside. So our key sectors did not have a good weekend in sum total. Definitely needing a little bit of pause. Software, which I've talked about for years being the leader, and it continues to lead all-time highs or fresh highs on Wednesday. You can keep closing your eyes and buy this thing. Telecom woke up a little bit. Trade's okay. I'm not a complete moron, having picked this at the beginning of the year. I just thought it'd be a lot better than it is, but it's not bad. Retailers have been terrible. They're just starting to percolate right now, but certainly really trailing in the consumer discretionary area. Not a sector that I would run out and want to be long by a lot. No, let's try to fix this. So in retail, the next break of this lower trend line probably coincides with maybe a little trapdoor selling. Home builders have not woken up again. Really disappointed here. I expected more, but they've kind of stuck a knife in my eye here, and they are dead. So we shall see in the next couple of weeks if home builders get a little bit again. XLI, XLB. XLI trades really, really well. In the face of a strong dollar, this is trading really well. Much to the contrary of what you hear from the jokers on TV. So XLI is starting to lead. XLB, which I hated all year, but I'm not going to disavow this rally. Nice double bottom, beautiful rally. They're really squeezing the shorts in XLB. Can't argue with that move. Healthcare, which I told you I was going to get out of healthcare and biotech, and I've started it last week. So my positions are much smaller. I sold some healthcare into this move, and I will likely get rid of the rest of it this week. And then it can rally. IBB, same thing on Thursday. I got out of all my IBBs right there, so I don't own it anymore. Now I fully expect IBB that I sold it to go back to 400 and let everybody complain, why did I sell it? Defensive stuff, IYR, not much last week at all going on. Very quiet. This powerfully bearish candle has been holding prices down. XLP, which I own, had a crummy day on Friday. I don't think the rally is over. I think this is just correcting this really nice move, and I expect XLP to return to new highs. XLU I bought middle end of last week down here. Quick trade in XLU, utilities. Do I have high hopes? I don't. I think I'd be ecstatic if we get a move above these highs, and I'd probably sell into this move up here. So, and energy. Energy traded fairly well last week. I was happy with the way my energy holdings. I own XLE and I own XOIH. I was very worried down here, and I said I'm only going to give it one more day. And then it turned tail nicely. I'd love to see this resolve itself with a breakout, up into the mid-70s, which I will sell that breakout move. And OIH a little weaker, but kind of the same thing. Did a beautiful impulse move here, very strong. It's consolidating, consolidating, consolidating. I'd like to see this thing bust out to the upside and get a little catch fire a little. So, did I miss anything on the sector front? No. Here's gold, which I did nothing with last week. They just look crummy. Nothing really to do with that. Gold and metal, how did it do? I was a lot more positive last week here than I am right now. That's a crummy move at falling out the bottom. So I'm just going to shrug my shoulders and see what happens this week. Let's see. Frank, you can. I don't cover stocks, so you're welcome to ask Tiny. Let's see. Can this be a bear market rally rather than a continuation of bull market? Tracy. Paul, you don't see any charts? If anybody else doesn't see charts, let me know. You don't need to type I see them, or fine. But if you don't see charts, let me know. Paul, I don't think any of those having the problem. Tracy, I can't figure out how you could view this as a bear market rally, but I could be wrong. I'm not going to dismiss your comment. I just don't see this. I guess you're opining that. And this is an awfully big rally, so close to new highs to be a bear market rally. Is it possible? Of course. Is it probable in my view? No, I don't think so. Jesse, I don't think it's time to buy gold yet. I said I had a crummy last couple of days, not for me. My cursor does not. Oh, you know what? I wonder. So this happened before to me when I was traveling. We couldn't figure out, is it the internet connection in the hotel, why my cursor has some latency to it, or is it that I'm on my laptop, my travel laptop, and not the laptop I use at home? I don't know the answer. So I'll try to articulate where I'm talking about in the chart rather than point to it. Okay. Let's go here. Here is the chart of the NYSE Advanced Decline Line. All I care about right now is if this AD line goes back to all-time highs. If it goes to all-time highs, it puts off the bear market. If it falls short of all-time highs and rolls over again, it increases the likelihood of a bear market. That's it. I don't care about the rest of the nonsense going on in here. High yield, here's JNK. It wasn't a bad week. It wasn't a good week. It was kind of a neutral week for JNK. It's consolidating nicely, as you see on the right side of the chart. And I think we got an upward resolution coming. So JNK, I'm looking for a move above 37. And the plain vanilla funds, same as JNK. It's digesting nicely. I still believe there's an upward resolution coming into year end. So that was high yield. We covered gold. Here's TLT. I've said this for the last couple of months. It's a sloppy chart. I don't have an opinion. Put a gun to my head, maybe I'd probably say TLT goes down some more, but I do not have any strong conviction on a TLT. The dollar, I have had a strong opinion on, and that's been bullish on all time frames. Dollar had a really good week. So you look on the far right of the chart, I'm trying to point, maybe not. Had a big day on Wednesday and consolidated Thursday and Friday. It's a little overbought, but dollar should go higher. Interestingly, that strong dollar move the last couple of weeks did not stop XLI from going up. Euro had a terrible week based on those hawkish comments from the Fed. It is oversold, but I don't think the bottom is in yet for the euro. And the yen, Mets didn't really do anything all week long. It continues to go sideways for 2 months now. Nothing there. Commodities, nothing really to speak of. They look like they want to rally. Is it a real rally? I don't know yet. We'll wait and see. Here's crude. Crude's trying to bounce back, trying really hard. I guess I'll give the bulls the benefit of the doubt in the really short term after Wednesday's big move, but they got a lot of work to do in crude. Oh my God, Natty Gas. Whew. Natty Gas fell out of bed last week. Fell out of bed last week. Look at it, fell below any low we see on the chart. And then on Tuesday, we had a really nice reversal candle, followed by a gap up on Thursday, and a nice day on Friday. So now you say, is it time to play Natty Gas? It probably is to the long side. This is not an investment right now. I think you got to play it nimbly. Copper, no opinion at all. Just consolidating. Nothing going on. Let me just look at questions for 1 second. No questions. Okay. The ags. We have wheat, which we came to last week saying, it didn't look bad. If anything, you'd have to lean to the long side. Had a really nice week in wheat, and I expect wheat to continue higher and trade above the high from earlier October. So wheat looks okay, continued. And corn, while not as strong as wheat, I think corn also could get a bid right in here. So I think both corn and wheat have some merit on the long side. Beans, not as much, but I'd give beans a shot the long side too. The takeaway is all the grains look decent to me. I think somebody asked about DBA earlier. and I think it's a worthwhile play to the long side. And we have sugar. Look how volatile way up on the top right of this chart. You got big green candles and big red candles. And you've got a negative divergence. I'll try to draw it. I apologize if I've got latency with the mouse. Price is going up, and the indicator is going down. So sugar is one where if you were long, I would certainly either take profits right away or put a very tight stop in. Cotton, nothing. I talked about shorting it into strength. We had the strength, and then they ripped my face off, and then they ripped the bull's face off. I am totally neutral on cotton for the time being. And cocoa had a nice week, but I can't say that I love the action, so I'll be staying neutral in cocoa. And finally, coffee, no opinion, as we continue to do nothing in coffee. I know I forgot who used to ask for the meats, but we covered it last week that I don't like how the charts come out in the meats, and I'm not going to cover the meats. Jesse and corn. I mean, Jesse, in corn, the high from last week is what you're looking to get above. So I want to see corn get above last week's high and then try to get above the October high. That's what I'm looking for in corn. Any other questions? Comments? Concerns? Wow, I feel fat. Holy jeez. I always feel fat when I travel. I didn't even eat junk food in the airport. I had a turkey sandwich for breakfast in the airport. Drank a ton of water. I had tons of fruit. I had 3 whole chicken wings. That won't kill me. I only had 1 beer today. Any other questions, comments, concerns? John asked for REITs. I didn't have any big comments on REITs, John. Here they are. Probably go either way. I like the market, so you can't hate REITs, but there's nothing here that I say I really love. But REITs probably go higher. And once you get above the highs from last week-ish, the October highs, you probably get a quick short squeeze up towards 79.80. Okay, the VIX. I mean, certainly the VIX is winding up for a move. It looks like it wants to. If I had to trade it, I'd rather be long than short the VIX right now. Oh, there's something I just remembered I wanted to pull up. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. That's what I want to pull up. So I did another study. Those of you guys who read my blog, I did another study this week on more. Where the hell is that beeping coming from? I did another study this week. It's on investfortomorrowblog.com. Just about the third bullish study I found in a row for the intermediate and long term, which says the market's going to go much higher. So if you're interested, you can go read it and take a look. Let's see. Is there a particular area within the OIH or XLA which may lead? Greg, it's a great question about when you get down into the subsectors of energy. I've not done any of the work on it, and I've been trying to nimbly play energy, and I've owned it for a long time, and I am not, my OIH, I'm under pretty good water. XLE, I probably have a little bit of a profit, but OIH has just killed me. So I've never dialed down even further. I bought some, what do I own? Chevron, Exxon, but I haven't really done the work, so I'm not going to give you a flip answer. Seems like VIX is going up long term. What do I think? I have a hard time grasping onto that one. Here's the weekly chart of the VIX. That's a tough conclusion to draw. Because every time it spikes, because we're in a bull market, it goes back to scraping under 15. So I can't draw that conclusion now. Thoughts on web security? I mean, I'm not going to pull up stocks, Alan. I'll say, Hack is the ETF for it. Here it is. Very disappointing rally off the bottom. Hasn't even rallied, Hack. So not one that I'd run to. I do own FDN. I'm sorry, I own the internet sector. Here's FDN. That's a leader. That's one that looks a lot better than the Hack group. And TAN, and then pull up, I know someone likes to trade TAN. I think TAN looks decent here. So TAN's one I'd play to the long side still. Can you look at 15-200 day on a weekly chart of VIX? Yeah, I can look at it. I mean, the 15 and 200 are pegged down below. You're almost going horizontally right here, so nothing for me. Yeah, I'm not sure I can buy the 15 to 200 crossing. I mean, especially now because they're essentially the same. They're right on top of each other. But if you have a good trading system, don't let me influence it. If you can make money from it, God bless. The BGK is a terrible ETF because it is so thin. There's not a lot of stocks left. Here it is. Someone else asked about blackjack. I forgot where. And it does not inspire a lot of confidence for me anyway. I think there are better ones to play than this. Okay, last call. Oh, Jets. Benji, I thought you were going to compliment my Jets. They stink too. They're as bad as my Cowboys. Here's Jets, which are a bunch of airline stocks. Airlines trade great. Hard to argue with how they're behaving. So I think Jets is a buy into any weakness. Still looks really good to me. Mark, no, I had a meeting today with my partners in a separate company that we invested in. We had a meeting all afternoon that wasn't exactly that fruitful or rewarding. And then I have a conference tomorrow, which I'm speaking at, and then on Tuesday as well. And then I get to fly home, thank God. And then I'm hopefully not traveling on business until January. Let's see. Did you cover EWG, EWJ? Well, Germany looks kind of like Europe. It looks okay to me. That's about all I can say. It looks okay. I don't really have a strong opinion. Japan, which I've been on for years, has been very frustrating and very rewarding sometimes. Looks kind of like Europe, a little stronger, even though Japan clearly is not in Europe. But I don't really have an opinion on Japan right now. To me, it's a pair of twos. Johanna, I covered copper. There's nothing there. A lot of stuff just kind of in no man's land right now. JN, any picks for January FX stocks? It's a little too early to pick stocks, but you can certainly do the homework now. But I think it's too early to pick stocks. Last call. I'm going to go down to the bar, have one drink, a single drink, and then I'm going to bed. I'm tired. Okay, so that is all from me. I don't think I hesitate to say this because then I'll be proven wrong tomorrow morning. I don't think it's a huge week in the market. I think it's more of a digestion, consolidation. Maybe we could pull back 1 to 3%. 3 would be kind of high, but I do think weakness is a buying opportunity. So that is all on my end. I wish you guys a good week. God willing, I will be back next Sunday night from home. I'm looking forward to it. Take care.